What's up guys, it's me Jeremy. So as you guys know, on this channel we do end up taking quite a lot of looks at some of the really awesome community creations that people make, and one that we haven't done in a particularly long time that I think is actually really awesome is Reworks. And of course League of Legends does tons of reworks, so it's always really cool to see the potential designs that the community can come up with. So today we're taking a look at some hand-picked best champion reworks that were designed by some of the wonderful players of the League of Legends community. These reworks are definitely super cool, and some of the design choices that people make are very interesting to think about. Now, since League of Legends has been doing so many visual updates, we're going to be focusing on reworks that are strictly visual based for this video today. Particularly, I think visual based reworks are just really cool. I think they're really amazing, and it's always interesting to see kind of like the redesigns that champions could maybe end up seeing. And if you enjoyed the video, definitely make sure to check out the original artists. You can find all their links in the description. And just before we start, this video is sponsored by Rivals, the esports MOBA manager. It's a free PvP game where you lead your own esport team, building a kick-ass gaming house, winning championships, and competing with your friends. Be in charge of setting up strategies, hiring players, deciding on picks and bans, and coaching your team. The gameplay involves stuff like strategizing versus your opponents, building your team setup, decide on your tactics and champions, and watch your team dominate in real time, see how they go through the pick and ban phase, and follow the gameplay of your players and experience the highlights of the game, all generated dynamically and live, and compete to make it to the top of your league. The game is still in the early beta phase, so all you will be able to get an exclusive first-hand experience before anyone else, and you could even directly discuss the game with the dev teams if you wanted to. Download the game for free at the link in the description, and big thanks to Rivals for sponsoring our content, and enjoy the rest of the video. So first up, we have a fan-made rework for Taric, which was actually designed by a player named Turek. The concept itself does steer a little away from his personality and makes Taric seem like someone very different, but the design that Turek put together, I gotta say, is absolutely amazing to look at. Considering this visual design was actually made a while back, I gotta say it's really impressive. The 3D rendering done is stunning, and the way that the turret adds glow to the gems that come off Taric's shoulder armor is just super cool. He's got this big shield and hammer, they're so badass, and they make Taric seem like kind of this crazy warrior. It makes him look kind of in a way that Leona looks like, with awesome armor and a really sturdy look. If we take a look at the in-game screenshots provided, we can really see that even compared to now, the visual fidelity is really crisp. It's definitely a very high-level design, and overall, a pretty awesome concept. Next up, we have an update for Sejuani, which was done by Mafubash. This 3D render shares the same idea as the Taric one in the sense that the amount of detail placed within the model is really breathtaking. If we take a look at Sejuani's mount alone, we can see the level of detail in the hair and texture of the legs. It's beyond impressive. Now, taking a look at the in-game screenshots, you might believe that it looks kind of similar to what we have today, but with more detail, and you'd be right to think so, as it is just intended to be a visual improvement for her. With that being said, it's easy to appreciate the high detail models in-game. I mean, this design apparently has a 15,601 poly count to it. It's amazingly detailed, the eye candy is superb. I mean, imagine League of Legends looking in this like highly stylized design. It would be really awesome. Maybe not for people who have kind of toaster PCs, but for those of us who have nice PCs, it would be pretty awesome for sure. Of course, we're not stopping there though. Next up, we have Syndra by a user that goes by the name of Tudorfat. While he didn't get as far in depth as the other concept arts, he did make a few different versions of what a visually different and detailed Syndra could look like. The detail, of course, is really awesome, and the armor and style presented really do stick to Syndra's style while adding quite a lot more to her character. The different helmet designs and mainly the way that her robe comes down is very different between models, and I'd argue it's a nice step up from what we have today. It gives a nice little bit of extra character to her when it comes to her dark magic sort of theme that really goes a long way. Moving on from there, we have Nunu by FrankieD. Now at first glance, you guys will probably recognize this instantly, and it's because the rework did basically end up going through, and it's what we have today. Of course, it was modified quite a bit to fit the League of Legends style a little bit more, but the overall concept was and is amazing. It's crazy how this concept was actually made back in 2014, and then in 2018, Riot seems to have taken inspiration from the design. It really goes to show that no matter when something is concepted or brought to the table, it could literally always come to the game years later. Of course, comparing to old Nunu, the biggest addition to his new character was actually the addition of Willump that added quite a lot of detail to Nunu as a character. However, of course, the most jarring difference is in Nunu himself. And in general, there's so much to appreciate in this Yeti-based design that gives off the fear of someone like Tibbers when Annie summons him. It's definitely an awesome piece of work to appreciate, and it's really cool to see how similar the Nunu rework was to this design in general. Up next we have Shyvana by JimmyRustler. I think what's most amazing about this rework is the level of detail and progress that's given to us. We can see the very first model in which it was simply the body art and nothing more, then we see the littlest details being added in here and there until we have a fully concepted piece. The armor and little details in especially the hands really fit the dragon theme in a way that's super impressive for sure. Next up we have a Lee Sin design by Stickpye. Now this concept itself is a little bit less of a complete overhaul and more of a little bit of a detail upgrade to the Lee Sin we know, but I gotta say this is one heck of an upgrade. We can see screenshots here of progress, and the detail in his face is just absolutely crazy. The tattoos also something to mention, as they really add another level of depth that's honestly so badass. Not to mention the in-game screenshots really look so crisp and clean, again making me wonder how amazing a fully high-definition version of League of Legends would truly look, like League of Legends HD or something. Really amazing stuff for sure. And next up we have a design for Cho'Gath by JRancourt. Now Cho'Gath is a really scary guy, sort of. His splash arts really push the character in a way that makes the player feel like they're controlling this big crazy monster. With that said, his in-game model, at least today, doesn't really quite stack up to the updated splash arts that Cho'Gath has received over the years, as well as his overall theme as a character. This model rework, on the other hand, really brings out some super important features in Cho'Gath that make him feel like this force to be reckoned with. The darker yet cleaner color scheme may be a departure from the void monsters we're used to seeing, but it really does bring out details that are so important in making him feel alive and frightening. The claws and detail in the grooves that make his skin feel like this armored tank all play into making him look like a badass. I definitely love the work put into these concepts in general. Riot did give Cho'Gath a visual upgrade in 2018, but it was really only to his abilities, so I do wonder if Riot could visually upgrade him similar to this kind of concept, maybe a little bit more in the future. Next up, we have Caitlyn by DmitryGrebenkov. Now, unlike most of the other concepts on the list, this one actually has a relatively low poly count and a style that is more similar to League of Legends in general, rather than like this hypothetical League of Legends HD universe. Now, the positive of that is that the design could be implemented quite smoothly and easily into the game, even with the way it is. And I gotta say, it looks pretty good. You know, it's really similar to the Caitlyn design that we all know and love, and retains 100% of her character, but just makes everything look way smoother and cleaner. It's a lot sharper, and I think the style makes her look better from far away, as well as from the top-down camera angle. A lot of people actually really love this concept, and really appreciated the work to her face that actually makes her seem closer to how she is in her splash art, which really goes to show the amazing work that Dmitry really put into this one. Moving from there, we have Kha'Zix by lunahod. Moving away from simpler and similar models, we go and dive into something that's a lot wilder and crazier, something that's a lot more detailed too. And this time, I gotta say, it's really detailed. You know, in this screenshot here, we can see the main body and tail of Kha'Zix rendered on its own, and the detail, I gotta say, is stunning, down to every little groove of the sharp tail it's designed. Once complete and fully colored in, we can really see the model come to life, as the figure spites really bright and dark colors all at once, giving a level of depth and character to Kha'Zix that we haven't really ever seen before. I actually think that this concept really pushes his character towards exactly what Kha'Zix is. However, the design is perhaps a little bit too detailed to where it probably can't be implemented into League of Legends, since it's just way too detailed compared to Summoner's Rift as well as the other champions, but that's just goes to show how much effort and time that lunahod actually put into this, and even though it doesn't actually fit within the context of the game, it's still a really awesome piece of work. And with that said, the next one tones things down just a little bit, and it's Kassadin by Darknavigator. Now this design sticks true to Kassadin's design and character, but it really excels with darker themed colors and a higher detailed model. The model designs are really cool and give more armor to both Kassadin's upper body and lower body. The in-game concept given is superb and honestly really excels him in my opinion. There's something about the black base sort of color with purple ancients that give him a much darker and eviler vibe. And in general, it's just a really cool piece of work. Either way, that's just about going to sum up our list for the video today. Which visual rework that we took a look at did you guys enjoy the most? Is there any reworks that you wish Riot would maybe use in the future? Definitely let us know in the comment section below, and make sure to check out the original artists once again. You can find all their links in the description. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, remember to subscribe for more videos like this one in the future, and as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.